Hi everyone, Karen from Stitches and Things. Today we're going to talk about how much it costs to knit a jumper and how you can walk into a store without getting bill shock. So the perfect example is if you walk in the door and you have a bit of an idea on what the pattern is you're going to make, and we have a look at how and see how many balls you need and what choices of yarn you want. If, for example, you picked up the absolutely gorgeous Australian merino, Bellissimo extra fine merino, super squishy soft, and we know that this is up there in price for yarn. It's about $17 a ball. And the expectations is that this is going to be your first choice because you really love the feel of it. I really want a jumper made in this. But when I tell you that, and we're going to talk today about a lady's size 14 plain garment, no bells and whistles, no bobbles, no cables, no texture, just a plain cardigan or jumper, so that we're kind of comparing apples with apples. So if we were going to make a ladies size 14 garment, the expectation is that we would need 1,200 meters of yarn. Now, the reason why we talk in meters and not in grams, if you talk in grams, you are going to get gazumped, because that is 100 grams of acrylic. There is 250 meters in that. This here is 100 grams of pure wool. No, this is 50 grams, but if it was 100 grams, it would only be 210 meters. So you're 40 meters short between that one and that one. So if you bought it in grams and bought this, you would end up caught short. And look, a lot of the older knitters will say to me, why don't they have grams anymore? Why do they have meters? Simply because different fibers are lighter or heavier, so you get more or less on your ball. Makes it a whole lot easier for us to figure out. And if it doesn't have meters, then I'll go and search on the internet and find out how many meters it is, so that we can sort it out and compare it. So in pure wool, so I've got 3 pure wools in my hand. 50 grams, 110 meters, 50 grams, 105 meters, 50 grams, 125 meters. So there's a bit of difference in the pure wool. This one's got 20% wool in it on 100 grams, 270 meters. This is all acrylic, 250 meters for 100 grams. So we really do need to know how many meters we're working with, and that's how we generally will convert one pattern from another, by looking at the meterage. All right, so we figured out that we need 1,200 meters of yarn. So the next thing I would do is ask you what kind of yarn you want to use, and we're going to want the most beautiful yarn. But probably what we should be asking you first is, how much do you want to spend? So if your expectations is, I'd like to spend $100, well, if we divided our 1,200 meters up into ball sizes, so if it were 50 gram balls, and we were assuming that this was our yarn here, so 1,200 meters, and if we divide that by 105 meters, we would need 12 balls, and that would get us $100 jumper. So $100 jumper if we picked up with that. But if I was going to knit it in this yarn, it would be $170. And that's Pepin. So that's our most economical, beautiful yarn. Oh, that's our most economical, beautiful yarn. This one feels a little bit softer. This one has a fleck. 115, 96, or 170. So you can see there's a big difference in just pure wool. If we were going to use 100% acrylic, is it up the right way? Fiddlesticks Superb 8, $43 to knit a jumper. And the Riot, which has got beautiful colorways and is 30% wool, would be $77.50 And if we used Peyton Sierra, which is 20% wool, that would be $44 to knit a garment. So there's a big difference. Our cheapest one being $43 and our dearest one being $170. These are all 8 plies. So if you walk in the door and you have some idea of how much you're happy your end garment price to be, then we can kind of divide it up and figure out, okay, this is how much you have got to spend per ball. And then we can figure out something that's not going to give you bill shock. So unfortunately, knitting yarns, can be expensive if you want the nicest thing, but just have a think about before you even walk in the door, how many meters it is and how much you think that if you divided that into balls, how much each ball is going to cost you. And if those are way out of your expectations, then maybe you should be looking at some smaller projects. But beautiful pure wool garments will last you for a long time, providing you knit something that's sensible. Sensible, I mean something that's going to stay in fashion for a long time. The basics are beautiful, like a beautiful cable jumper, something textured, but something that's not way out fashionable this season's colours, unless you love all that sort of stuff. If you want to invest in something expensive and gorgeous, then pick something that you think, okay, can I still wear this in 5 years' time? Am I going to get the wear out of it? And that's the same, I guess, when we look at children's garments. Some people want to knit children's garments, but they only want to knit pure wool. There are other pure wools on the market that maybe are not quite as soft, unfortunately, on the skin as some of these other beautiful soft ones. Just have to think about who's going to wear them, how long they're going to be worn for. So if you're making a baby 6 months jumper, you're probably going to get 3 months out of it. And if there's no one to pass it on to, then it's kind of, do you do it in the most beautiful pure wool, or you do something that's going to be thrown in the wash continually and is going to last? There's yes, so who's going to wear it, how long it's going to be worn for, and who's going to care for it? So if you are going to make something in gorgeous pure wool, even though this is machine washable, I personally wouldn't dump it in my washing machine. I might hand wash it and put it in the spinner gently to get the water out. But knowing how much I spent on it and how much time I spent on it, I probably wouldn't throw it in the wash. Whereas this one, it will wash like a rag in the washing machine on the wool cycle, and so will the heirloom. So think about those few things. They're just some sort of handy hints about starting starting with the meters and how much you're likely to spend and dividing that up. It's easier to divide it up into 100 meter lots into 100 meters, so you can say 6 of those or 10 of those, I think it was. But anyway, I did figure it all out. I did get all sciencey and figure it all out. But yeah, figure out how much 100 grams is going to cost you, and then decide how much it's going to be. Some people will look at a ball and go, oh my God, it's $14 a ball. And I go, yeah, but you only need 2. And it's like, okay, look at how much the whole project is going to cost you. There are some yarns on the market. I had a yarn that was for a beautiful shawl, but the yarn was $35 a ball. And some people went, oh, $35, one ball, $35. Yeah, but that's one whole project. If I told you that there was 6 balls of wool in the project and those 6 balls cost you $35, you wouldn't be balking at it like you are 1 ball's $35 or 6 balls are $35. We need to look at the end result. So they're just some of my little thoughts after dealing with a lot of people that come in to spend. Some people don't care how much things cost, and some people need to be a little more frugal. So just have to think about those things. All right, that's it from me. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment and I will get back to you.